Have you ever dreamed of being truly unshakable? A person who walks through criticism, rejection, betrayal, and loss without losing their soul, without collapsing inside? So many of us nurture this secret wish, hidden under the layers of strength we project to the world. We act as if we are immune, yet inside we feel the gnawing ache of silent anguish, the invisible exhaustion of always trying to be untouchable. But here is the unspoken truth. The more you run from pain, the more it runs your life. The more you attempt to shield yourself, the more imprisoned you become by the words that cut, the silences that hollow, the actions that betray. And this is not weakness, it is the human condition. Some simply hide it better than others. Carl Jung, the pioneer of depth psychology, understood this better than anyone. He said, "We are not what happens to us, but what we choose to become." Strength is not coldness, it is not building higher walls. True strength is integration. It is bringing to light the unseen, the wounded, the shamed parts of ourselves. It is remaining aware, conscious, and loving, even when we are bleeding inside. If you have made it this far, it is not by chance. You are tired of hurting yourself for the sake of others, tired of giving your power away. This is for you, and it begins with a truth that may sting. Nothing outside of you truly has the power to hurt you unless it awakens an old wound that has never fully healed within. You believe the betrayal, the cruel words, the abandonment are what crush you, but they are merely catalysts, triggers that reveal an internal void, a void long hidden by pride, perfectionism, and the desperate facade of being okay. Jung showed us that external pain reflects the inner disintegration we refuse to confront. Why does a casual comment shatter one person and leave another unscathed? Because it depends not on the words themselves, but on the wound they touch. You still suffer so much, because deep down, you are clinging to an illusion, the belief that you can control how the world treats you. That if you are good enough, smart enough, loving enough, strong enough, then you will finally be immune to pain. But control is a lie, and clinging to it enslaves you to fear. If you want to stop suffering, you must stop trying to protect yourself from suffering. Freedom begins not with more control, but with greater awareness. The deep knowing that the world can wound you only where you have not yet made peace with yourself. The true battlefield is not outside. It is within. It is the unconscious, the forgotten, repressed parts of you that continue to pull the strings of your emotions and choices. Carl Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The pain you feel, the anger that explodes without reason, the sadness that drowns you in silence, none of it is random. These are the cries of your unconscious. They are the messengers of parts you have ignored, abandoned, or denied. The unconscious is not some vague fog, it is a living force. It holds memories, traumas, desires, fears, all the unclaimed parts of your soul. And unless you face them, they will rule you. They will make you react, sabotage, flee from the life you long for. This is why certain words destroy you, while others walk away unscathed. Because you have hidden wounds, still raw, still aching, that you have never dared to touch. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Repression only strengthens the chains. Judging yourself, silencing yourself, pretending you are fine, none of it liberates you. It only deepens your prison. The unconscious does not vanish because you ignore it. It manifests instead through toxic relationships, you cannot escape, self-sabotage you cannot explain, fears that paralyze you, even when everything seems fine. You think you have bad luck, but it is your own unconscious trying to wake you up. If you want to be untouchable, you must stop running from your own soul. Pain will find you, no matter how high your walls. The more you armor yourself against the world, the more vulnerable you become inside. There is only one path to true invincibility: integration. Becoming untouchable is not an act of defiance. It is an act of profound knowledge. It is bringing the lost, feared parts of yourself into your arms and saying, "You are welcome here." Most people think they will stop hurting if they harden themselves. They build emotional fortresses. They pretend not to care, but inside they bleed. The problem is not that you feel too much. The problem is that you do not yet understand what you are feeling or why. True emotional strength is not the absence of pain. It is the deep familiarity with pain, the willingness to face it, name it, and integrate it into your being. You do not become untouchable by refusing to feel. You become untouchable when no part of yourself is foreign to you anymore. When you embrace your shadows, your fears, flaws, needs, wounds, no one else can use them against you. You cease being an emotional puppet. You become sovereign. Jung called this process individuation, the journey toward becoming fully yourself, not who society expects, not who fear demands, but who you truly are. Individuation is not perfection, it is wholeness. It is the marriage of light and shadow, conscious and unconscious. The more you run from pain, the more it hunts you. The more you deny vulnerability, the more fragile you become. But when you face your brokenness, when you love yourself, even in your bleeding, nothing outside has the power to break you. This path requires courage, the courage to feel, to let go of masks, to embrace your own humanity, because the key to transformation is hidden inside the very pain you are trying to escape. Since childhood, you were taught to despise pain, to believe it is weakness, shameful, dangerous. So you fled from it. You built walls. You distracted yourself. You hardened your heart. Jung taught that pain is the soul's language. It is the alarm of the unconscious. It is not your enemy, it is your guide. When depression comes, when grief overwhelms, when loneliness suffocates, do not push it away. Invite it in. Offer it tea. Listen to what it has to say. Because behind every wave of suffering is a message. Something in you longs to grow, to transform, to be born anew. Change hurts, growth hurts, letting go hurts. But this mourning, this internal death is necessary. Without it, nothing new can live. Suffering lays bare your illusions. It tears down your pride. It reveals your naked, trembling, beautiful soul. The soul that no mask could ever hide, no armor could ever protect. At the very bottom of your suffering lies your true freedom. Most people will flee. They will distract themselves. They will return to the surface, to the comfortable numbness of unconscious living. But not you. If you are still reading, it means you are ready. Ready to cross the valley of shadows. Ready to leave behind survival and step into true life. This journey is not for the faint-hearted. It demands everything. It offers no guarantees of comfort. It strips away your illusions, your armor, your defenses. Jung called individuation a process of tearing off the persona, the mask of convenience we wear to be accepted, respected, admired. True transformation begins only when you dare to shed that skin. You are not your achievements. You are not your traumas. You are not the image you built to survive. You are the being beneath it all. To become untouchable is not to become invulnerable. It is to become indestructibly real. Because you have looked into the abyss of your own soul and said, "I see you. I choose you." When you integrate your darkness, you no longer fear being exposed. You no longer fear judgment. You no longer need validation. You know who you are, and no one can take that from you. This inner clarity, this unshakable lucidity, is your true armor. You will still feel pain, but it will not break you. You will still be hurt, but you will not lose yourself. You have ceased to live at the surface. You have descended into the depths. And in the depths there is silence. And in the silence there is power. And in power there is freedom. Every day you have a choice: to blame or to take responsibility, to react or to observe, to flee or to feel, to survive or to live. You were not born to pretend strength. You were born to embody truth. Jung taught that real transformation comes not from imagining light, but from making the darkness conscious. Your darkness is not your shame. It is your teacher. Your suffering is not your curse. It is your awakening. You, even in your mess, even in your fear, even in your brokenness, are not something to be fixed. You are something sacred, unfolding. You are the alchemist. You are the gold. Choose awareness. Choose depth. Choose yourself. The journey will not always be easy, but it will be real, and that is worth everything. Take a deep breath. Step into the unknown. Trust that your soul knows the way. And remember, the gold was never lost. It was always hidden within you, waiting for you to remember, waiting for you to come home.